Anytime now.
soup yet?
Hey, it's time for Thursday Night Soup. Join Doc, co-host Jeff Kendall, and many other famous celebrities as we discuss music, movies, and just plain cause havoc across the internet. And now, get ready. Let's welcome Doc.
I'm not ready.
I want my Thursday night soup now!
You can't see me.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh gosh, here we go again. Another episode of Thursday Night Soup.
It is.
What are you out there? Yeah. Well, let me just check and see what the Detroit Tigers are doing.
Okay.
Losing 3-0 to Cleveland. Oh no. Ugh.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland
At the
rocks.
moment, yes. Ugh. We better fix that. But anyway, so what inning is that in? Bottom of the fifth. Okay, well, there's still some time left. Get going, boys. Hurry up. We have some other people out there to join us here. Jeff Kendall's here.
I'm here.
He's there. Tim Allen made it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. Hey. And this guy called Gurr. Hey, whoa.
Garrett.
What's that? Here. And let me see who's out in the woods watching tonight.
Oh, we have some familiar faces.
Yeah, it's Lee. Well, he's an L. And
Harvey and Oswald.
yeah. Oh, here's a question. What's the only single album that played for 60 minutes? Golly, I don't know.
60 minutes, 30 minutes aside.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, George.
There's greatest hits, but an album that came out.
And Henry the Mines of supposedly out there. May not be the real Henry. There's been a mess going on. But
And if you
and anyway,
I bid you welcome.
I have an answer to the question. I don't know if
Okay.
it's right, but it's an educated guess. I'm going to say the Beatles' 20 greatest hits.
The
Right?
one with the white cover.
Yeah, 10 songs aside.
That's a compilation. There's lots of. There was a company that called Golden Hour, and that's what they did was hour-long compilation albums. So there's a lot of those.
Well, I'm still going with that as my answer.
But
okay. Maybe he'll tell us. I'm as well.
We will have to wait for the answer from Mr. James Farley.
I can't think of one album that goes for 60 minutes. Yeah.
I'm just guessing that one because it's got 20 songs on it. You figure on average 3 minutes a song. There's
An album
the
usually
early
runs-
ones aren't. Though. The early ones aren't 3 minutes, but like I
No,
have
the
Golden
later
Hour of the
ones.
Kinks, Golden Hour of the Kinks Volume 2, which is 2 hours long. It's a 2-record set. It's 2 hours long.
But it's a single.
Yeah. I don't know.
But,
Usually albums run
but
about
Golden
45
Hours were all hour long. I have Golden Hour of the Searchers. Golden Hour of Status Quo. They did a lot of them. They're all hour long
It
records.
could depend on how much time you take flipping it from side one to side two as well.
Yeah. That would make it longer than an hour. Oh, what do I do?
Maybe not. I don't.
I'm waiting for the answer. What happened to the answer?
know. We can't
I
hold
guess.
it. No.
My guess would be Brain Salad Surgery by Emerson Lincoln Palmer.
Yeah, it's probably, well, if it's not what I said, then it's probably a prog album. I would
Yeah,
say.
song for like 20 minutes.
Iron
Yeah.
Butterfly or something.
Album has 3 songs on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know albums that have got one song on one side, but it's not, you know.
Mhm. Steven Schnee's up there, but he's
What's
not
Steve?
watching.
It's a shame you couldn't watch, Steven. I'm sorry.
He's busy tonight. He's doing some stuff. So
Maybe he's going outside.
But
It
he's
can be hard to watch. I'll give him that.
yeah.
He might be going outside. You never know. It's
Never know.
still daylight out there.
Another Stephen Shee walking on the beach
Could be.
video.
Or within nature.
Mhm.
Just watch out for them squirrels. They dangerous.
Jane Siberry did a song called Mimi on the Beach, so maybe we got Stevie on the beach.
Yeah.
Ah,
Now, Steve, Steve can go to where they filmed all those beach party movies and say, look, this is where Annette actually
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a trick question.
Okay.
Oh,
Aha.
Well,
Let's reread the question. What is the only single album that played for 60 minutes? Okay, so is single album the clue?
Single album. Now, that's the only thing I can think of because I have Tommy, the Who double record set on one CD. And that would be the only thing.
well, what if you got Sgt. Pepper with the Inner Groove? That could go on forever.
That's true. That's
Right.
true. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. That one can play forever.
Yes.
Like I said, there are hits compilations, but I don't know of any album that's not a hit compilation. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Okay. Well, let's see what everybody's bought lately. Jeff, you're up first.
Well, I do not have anything new this week. So I've decided to pull out one of my favorite box sets. I really enjoy this. How many, the rest of you have the best collection of this one?
Oh, no, I don't. That's good.
Great
That's-
I
collection.
don't have any of
If
I've
you
got-
find,
I've got their, I've got their discography, actually.
yeah, if you find this, it's usually shot to hell. This was a new one. And this, I think I got it for Father's Day last year. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it.
I think the ones that were shot to hell were owned by Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, probably so. Here's the book, with there's lots of interesting pages, interesting pictures. Like who's that? Stephen Stills.
Stevie.
Stephen Stills.
First
and,
Stevie one.
Ricky, and Bruce.
Yep.
Dewey, the drummer.
Wait till we get to Neil.
Neil. And it's a really good material. There's enough probably unreleased tracks to have at least one complete album.
That might be worth getting into because I've got the three albums.
Mm-hmm.
But I should get that for the unreleased stuff or see
It's
if I
really
can
good.
find
It's
online.
really good if you want to get a brand new one. It might be a little pricey, but make sure that if you get a used one, it's not shot to hell.
Yeah.
Jeff, watch out for them bullet holes.
Stay
Yeah.
away from Alec Baldwin.
Yes, it's really good. Oh yeah, stay away from him too.
We have an answer to the big question. It's an album of Andy Rooney?
Oh,
His-
Who would
His,
buy that?
doc-
Well, wait. If you're doing that, there were audio books on record that went for 2 hours because they played at 16, and if you count those, there's tons of those.
Stephen Schneese says the only 60-minute album he can think of is the Tim Allen Psychedelic Experience Doodle Dinosaurs. I doodle dinosaurs.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think Stephen made that up. I'm suspicious.
I have a suspicion he did too, but
Right there.
I don't remember making that.
Right there.
There's the young, good-looking fella tonight, right here. But
Oh, see,
Yo.
Andy Rooney used to be 60 minutes.
Oh, it's
yeah,
a joke. It's not even a real album. It's a joke.
Yeah, he
Nah.
used to give me back the last 5 minutes. He talked about something strange.
Yeah, but
yeah, he was the best part of 60 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Have you ever wondered?
Yeah.
what haven't you noticed?
That and more with Andy Rooney.
Mhm.
Who wants to go next?
Who's next?
Who's
That's
next?
Yeah, great album.
It is.
Does anybody have anything?
I got one thing on the show, but Tim, what do you got?
You have anything, Tim?
Tim?
No.
No?
You have nothing too.
My
Well,
thrift store put everything on sale because they're not getting anything new in. And I didn't buy anything, even with records, 4 for $1. I didn't buy a record. CDs, Blu-rays, DVDs, everything are 99 cents. I bought nothing because it's the same stuff that if it's $1.99, I'm gonna buy it anyway. I'm not gonna wait till it's $1. So there's nothing I want.
So it was basically all junk anyhow.
Well, not junk, but stuff I have or not interested in.
Mm-hmm. Walter Trout.
Another 25th anniversary of Walter Trout. This is called Unspoiled by Success. And if you read, well, it's hard to see here, but it's all unreleased tracks and 3 new songs. So most of it's live, but some of it is studio. Okay, so you got, it sounds like it's done in a small club as well. So the sound is really good. You got that, and then there's the gatefold. So this is a I don't think this one was ever out on vinyl. I think it was only out on CD. So they've released it as part of this this series. I'll show you. Well, they've done a whole bunch with this series, and you can see them here and here. But I don't think any of these were ever released on vinyl. Well, the first one was for sure. I've seen that one on vinyl, but not the others. And there's the there's kind of a standard label they're using for this series. So there you go.
Now, does that album run for 60 minutes?
No, it's 2 records. So anyway, that's I showed the one the other day. So this is another one that I've managed to pick up. So not easy to find even on CD, these albums. So it's kind of nice that they did this reissue series. There you go. So that's I got a couple others, but I can save those for Sunday.
Can Walter Trout do a wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
Well, he may very well. I've never heard him do it, but once you've heard my version, I mean, why would you bother?
That's true. Hey. Oh, I'm on. I actually have something to show.
Oh boy, what's Doc have?
You know how it is when I go out to the dumpster.
Oh, you found something there? You find you another pillow?
Gets all dirty and stinky.
I got some physical media.
Oh.
Okay. I actually not. It wasn't found in the dumpster. It was in the recycle bins. Like.
Well, that's a little better.
You threw your cans and bottles in, and somebody decided to throw in honeymooners.
Oh.
And it's new.
That
So
must be a mistake.
You get 8 episodes, fan favorites, voted by people as their favorite honeymooners episode.
That's a good one,
Alice.
I'm sorry, but if you're a Honeymooners fan, there's 39 fan favorites.
Well, the thing is, I've got them all now, right? I've got the box set. But I find this stupid thing. I just, well, I'm not going to leave that in the.
Think of it as a Honeymooners greatest hits.
Kind of, yeah.
Play it in the car, just one CD you can take with it in the car.
Exactly.
Yeah. Does it work? Does it work?
Well, I looked at the disc. I took the disc out. It looks fine. They must have only played it once and said, okay.
Probably got it on gift and didn't like it. Yeah.
Could have been.
Is it colorized or is it in black and white?
It's a black and white.
Yeah.
It's got TV or not TV, Funny Money, The Golfer, The Sleepwalker, Better Living Through Television, The Man from Space, Video, the $99,000 Answer, Ed Norton, and Young at Heart. So, I guess there's some pretty good episodes on here.
I remember the Sleepwalker. Well, that's when Norton was sleepwalking, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a funny episode.
Lulu. Lulu.
All you have to do is mention the episode. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, so anyway. I don't know whether that shows up.
One DVD. Okay.
Yeah, 8 episodes on one. But I mean, there's no scratches or anything.
There's no thinking on it. There's no label. Like, oh.
But,
No,
but
look-
I mean,
Yeah,
I thought it would probably beat to hell. And well, no, it isn't.
I can see your computer monitor.
Ooh.
All that porn you got showing there.
Well, anyway, it's in good shape. Although I don't need it, but I thought it was certainly somebody might want this. So.
That'd be nice. Nice.
Makes a great Christmas gift.
Yeah.
No, it would be.
Square stocking stuffer. Well, this might be toll-free survey. Should I answer?
Oh,
You guys want to do a survey?
Once again, I threw my DVD in there by mistake. I'd like to have it back, please.
go ahead. Oh no, we're not gonna hear it. Oh,
I'm not answering. It's just more marketing crap.
Oh, I thought it was Doc. It's you. Okay.
no. No, Mike says I got the 39 box set. Get out! Get out! One of these days, Alice Powell. Get out! Yeah.
At one point, you could get that a few years ago. Walmart had that box set for like $9, which, I mean, come on. The entire shelf for $9 new. That was,
All right, get up! Yeah!
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Being that I've clicked over to that, now I've lost my comments. See any rats in there? No, not in ours anyway. That's about as annoying as someone shining a flashlight in your
We
face.
just had an election. We sent all our rats back to Ottawa.
Mm. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess I showed something, and Tim has nothing.
I don't have
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. We're all through with that. Okay.
Okay.
Next up.
Next up, is it time for some?
Next-
clickbait?
Next up. Something we did at, or at least I didn't get to do it back on Sunday. Some of my favorite clickbaits.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Such as magic trick gone wrong, kills 11. What? Really?
It's not clickbait. Fascinating Horror is a fantastic channel. It's one of my favorite channels. I've seen
really?
every one of their videos. Not clickbait. Not clickbait.
Not clickbait.
Not clickbait. Fascinating Horror is an amazing channel. Everything that says is true, and it will be there, and you will see it, and you will learn. I watched one last night about the Mississauga train wreck or something from 1979.
Mm-hmm.
This train filled with carrying like 50 cars of chemicals derailed.
That affected my sister.
And they evacuated like 40,000 people.
Yeah, my sister
And
was
not one
teaching
person
there.
died. It's incredible that not
My
one
sister
person
got
died.
my sister got evacuated. She was affected by that. She was living in Mississauga, teaching in
But
Brampton.
no one died. There weren't even any serious injuries.
Yeah, she had to.
Ankle. The mayor sprained her ankle. That's about the worst
She had to move back home
She
for
was
a
in like
week.
your 70s.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
no, I
Great
remember that
show.
well.
Great. I want to take this opportunity to recommend everybody check out Fascinating Horror. It's one of my favorite channels.
There you go.
Not clickbait, Doc. You're wrong on that one. Sorry. Fantastic channel.
How did a magic trick go so awry it killed 11 people?
You have to watch the video. But he did. And his videos are only about 10 minutes long, and it did. And it's fascinating. That's why
12 minutes.
Okay,
think
it's
Bob
12 minutes
Dylan-
long. Ooh,
Oh.
I think
ooh.
Bob Dylan did a song about it, Doc.
It's one of the. It's not clickbait. Fascinating Horror is one of the
There's
best
so much
channels out.
freaking AI on YouTube these days.
It's not AI. It's a guy from I think he's from New Zealand that narrates it. He does it all himself, and it's a great. It's one of my favorite channels. It's a not missed channel for me.
Okay, but
What's the
there is so much AI on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this guy doesn't do AI.
What's the next
he does
clickbait?
amazing research, and it's a great channel.
What's it called? Fascinating Horror?
Fascinating Horror.
Fascinating.
Okay.
I'm not sure where the guy's from. He's from Europe somewhere. Like
Oh, it's got a
New
blackbird as his logo.
New Zealand, Australia. It could even be the UK. I'm not sure where he's from, but great channel. Not
The
AI.
film that caused 28 lives.
Ooh.
Wow.
The deadliest hayride, the Cormier Village hayride accident.
Now I
Yep.
can't wait to watch this all tomorrow.
In hiding for 27 years, the North Pound Hermit.
Well, if you go back, you'll see things that where hundreds of lives were lost. But he's been doing this channel for a long time, so he's running out of major accidents, unfortunately. But still, he's still great.
Okay. That one's vindicated. Okay, let's try it. Let's try another.
I'd like to see the one on the Mississauga train thing, because my sister lived through that. That was
I just watched it, and he calls that one a miracle. It's the Mississauga train wreck miracle or something like that, because no one died.
Yeah. Well,
and the mayor was like in her 70s, and she did such a good job with this and everything. She was elected through. She was finally, when she retired from being mayor, she was like 94 or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. She was famous. I can't remember her name, but she was famous even before that happened. She was. I can't remember her name, but yeah, she was very popular.
Yeah. Yeah. Great channel.
Mississauga was like 45 minutes from where I lived. It wasn't that far away.
Yeah, not clickbait.
We used to call it Mr. and Mississauga.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
try again, Doc. We should have done again.
For those who don't know the geography, Mississauga is like a bedroom community of that people who work in Toronto. They live in Mississauga, and they just go down the 403 or the 407 or whatever, and they can be right at work.
QEW.
The QEW. Well, no, the QE kind of goes the other way, but yeah, they're right next door to Trana, and so
That's a highway called the Q.
Well, the Queen Elizabeth way, the QEW. It kind of goes the other way. It doesn't. It goes into Hamilton and Burlington. So.
Let's try another clickbait thingy here.
Ooh.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, try this tonight. For foot pain. Oh yeah. I suspect AI on that.
Okay, I got no arguments with you on that one.
Because one of the feet are darker than the other one.
That's just another Bigfoot video.
Okay.
It's supposed to be for foot pain. Do you have foot pain? They show this stupid bloated foot. Like, come on. Like, I don't think so. But that's the kind of stuff I get on my feed.
There are diseases.
Or what I'm recommending.
I think they've targeted you. That's what I think.
Yes, you're popular.
Well,
this guy from here looking at things.
You say if we put this up, Doc Dawkins will give us exposure on his life.
I'm advertising it, right?
That's right.
Oh, where'd you see that? Yeah. Now everybody's going to find it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of those ads that masquerade themselves as a video.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
yeah.
In the thumbnail, like, oh gosh, like I saved $30,000 a year doing this. Well, I've got click on that. Well, in the bottom it says it's an ad. So like, read the thing, people. You know, so don't just go like, oh, geez, click. You got yourself an ad. Ah. So these things are trying to fool you.
Mm-hmm.
You out there, you read it and look at it. And don't click on it because you'll probably get
Well, click on fascinating horror.
Elliot. I'll be right here. Well, now that we've chased the audience away, what else can we do? Look. Oh, when Paul was doing Wings, why didn't John George and Ringo continue as a gruel? Well, they all wanted to go their separate ways.
Well, they stopped eating gruel a long time ago.
Yeah. George wanted to do his song. John wanted to fool with Yoko. Ringo just went where he felt like. So what ad is this show about?
See, what people don't realize is that when Paul quit the Beatles, John had already quit the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been George and Ringo. That's who would have been left. So,
Yeah.
you know.
But they ended up playing on each other's records anyhow. So
John got talked into not quitting because they were about to renew their contract, and they're like, "Don't wait till everything is signed and the dust is settled, and then
and then Paul says, "I've quit."
Well, Paul waited. John could have said it months before he finally did.
Well, basically, John quit
He
just
had to
before
wait a
live.
month or two.
John quit just before Live Peace in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when they did Live Peace in Toronto, he'd already left. So, and that was what, I think it was like September when he quit. September 69.
68.
Their contract with EMI was due in like November or something like that. So, they just don't say anything till we all sign our new contracts, and then you do whatever you want.
Well, plus you got to remember, like Abbey Road came out in September of '69, so they wanted to be. They didn't want the Beatles breaking up to interfere with the release of the new album. They wanted the album to be a success. But there's interviews of John talking about the album, and he'd already left the band before that interview, but. Nothing was said, right? But he's commenting on all the songs.
Announce it.
Yeah, he's commenting on all the songs and everything, but he wasn't actually in the band at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Henry's mom just made pancakes, but I prefer waffles.
I'll be right over, Henry.
Are they blueberry waffles? Oh no, they're pancakes. Lots of syrup, more syrup, lots of butter.
It's the same batter, so I don't know why one would prefer waffles over pancakes.
I remember pestering my mother to buy a waffle maker. So, come on, Mom, buy a waffle maker. It's only $4 or something.
We've got one, but never use it.
When we brought it home, and now you got to make waffles. And she's sitting there making all these waffles, and we ate them all. We thought it was the best thing.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
All you have to do is make pancakes and get one of those things that you tenderize meat with, and you have
get the little squares.
Yeah, you make little squares, and there you go. And cover them in syrup. I used to.
Well, that's the best part about waffles. You pour the syrup on it, it pools up in the little squares.
Yeah.
It'll run off onto the plate.
Yeah, my mom used to get so mad at me because I used to hold half a bottle of syrup on my waffle.
Eggos killed the waffle maker.
Mm-hmm.
Eggos.
And it's funny because there were frozen waffles before Eggos, but for some reason Eggos just caught on.
Let go, my Eggo.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
What's that? Oh.
Eggo killed the waffle maker.
Might be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's so much easier. You just put them in the toaster.
But we have a waffle maker. I don't think we've used it like 15 years. It's somewhere in the cupboard.
Probably, yeah.
Just pull out the Eggo and go.
Yeah, Eggos are so much easier. And you can do the toaster pieces too.
Well, I just watched a video with David Gates. He's talking about bread. I was just watched a David Gates video before I came on here. Psychic.
Yeah, the bread tribute band is called Toast. Let's go see Toast tonight. Yeah.
I always liked bread. I thought they were great. And I got most of David Gates solo albums too. I thought they were great.
Ooh, wow.
You want to see I could show my bread collection.
Yeah. He even wrote Saturday's Child for the Monkees.
Yeah, that'd be
Wow.
good. How many bread albums did they make?
It's like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Wow. I just have greatest hits, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a best of. I'll find a cheap one somewhere.
They did a couple of best ofs.
Mm-hmm.
There's one on Rhino. Rhino's usually the best.
Because
one.
didn't they come back for a reunion album a couple of years later? I thought they did.
I'll show you that.
Mm-hmm.
Sirius XM is free this
All right,
weekend.
all right, here's my-
Yay!
here's
Thank you, James Carly.
We're talking about bread.
Yeah, Brad.
Well,
bread.
You still got to sign up for it.
That's James, Jimmy Griffin, Rob Royer, and David Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's their first album. And then on their second album, they expanded to 4 guys. They brought in the Mike Botts became the drummer. This is called On the Waters. So this was what's the big song from this? Make It With You. That was a big hit from this album. Okay, so that's a good one. What's the song on this I like? There's a song called Let Your Love Go. I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then Mana.
Oh.
Let Your Love Goes on this one.
And
That was a rocker. That was one of Jimmy Griffin's songs.
Mm-hmm.
He was more of a rocker. Gates was more of a balladeer kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Jimmy was the rocker. So that's the third album, and then they did "Baby I'ma Want You," which is the title of a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're all on Elektra. They're on Elektra Records.
Mm-hmm.
You see the big E?
that's a clue.
That's a clue.
Yes.
This is my favorite one, Guitar Man. I love this album.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good album. I like the cover. I like everything about this album. I love the cover. Great tracks on this album. It's got Guitar Man, Sweet Surrender, Tekaloti. There's some really good songs on this.
Oh, it's got the record.
They went on hiatus after this, or they broke up for like 4 years. This was like 72. And then in 76, they reunited and came out with Lost Without Your Love.
Mm-hmm.
And by this time, well, I should have pointed that out, but Rob Royer had left because of substance abuse and all that sort of stuff. So Larry Netchell, who I believe was a member of the Wrecking Crew, joined them. He was sort of a multi-instrumentalist. He was a keyboard guy, but he took up the bass duties as well. But I think he was mainly a keyboard guy before that. So he came on board. I think he came on board with, I think it was their third album. No, fourth album. Yeah, he came on board with this album. There he is there.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob Royer was there until then, and then he came on.
James Charlie wants to know if those are Japanese pressings.
Well, I don't know, because
I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese.
and then David Gates.
I had to
David
scroll for
Gates,
that.
after Guitar Man, where's Guitar Man? Who stole my Guitar Man? David Gates went out on his own and started doing solo albums after this album. So, yeah. That's it. That's my bread.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to have a copy of this, right?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's like you gotta have this for backseat activities. Yes, and it's got Lee's favorite songs on there: "Lost in Your Love" and "If." You know, if a face can launch 1,000 faces or something.
Do you remember when Telly Savalas did a version of that song?
No.
He did it was actually a single. Telly Savalas sang "If." I guess he did a record.
Huh.
He did several records.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have
$5 on this thing.
Yeah, it was just,
I have that. That's
this interview.
that's
David Gates
the
was
vinyl one.
this interview I watched. David Gates was talking about that cover Savalas did, and it was a spoken one. He read it as poetry.
Oh, okay.
Gates said, you know, had they mentioned that before it was done, he says that would never work. And he said, I was actually really blown away by what Savalas did with it. He said he really likes it. He really likes it as a spoken word version of the song.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he kind of many years later endorsed it. Yeah, and there's been a number of their songs covered by different people. You know, and of course Gates gets the royalties for it and all that. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to hear that now to see what it actually sounds like.
Now, which member of the band did an album with Terry Sylvester right after he left the Hollies?
That was probably Jimmy Griffin.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's likely him. I have a vague memory of something there.
Because I remember reading it in Rolling Stone, but I never could find the album. I wanted to hear what it was like. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say it was probably Jimmy Griffin.
He's digging.
Well, I try to find my David Gates stuff.
Okay. It's stay tuned. His David Gates collection is coming in next.
Yes.
I don't have everything he did.
Yeah.
But
got a good selection.
Looks like I got 4 of his things. Okay, so here's his first solo album.
Well,
this is an amazing record. I really like this record. It's called First. You know, you see the title there.
First.
It's a really good album. And he did this, it would have been around 73. This is after they split up the first time.
It started that whole YouTube trend.
And then Never Let Her Go was his next one. And then this is the Goodbye Girl one. Right. And then this is the last one I've got called Falling in Love Again. This would have been, what's the year on this? 1980 for that one. And I think he did some stuff after this, but I kind of lost interest at that point. He was getting a little too adult contemporary, and I just said, So anyway, there he is. There
is he still?
He was pretty prolific.
Is he still recording, or did he retire?
Yeah, he retired. I was in this interview, and I knew this. He moved to Montana, and he had a big 6,000-acre ranch. And he raised cattle. And then somewhere around 99, 2000, they sold the ranch, and he moved back out to California just to have what he calls a softer life. His ranching is hard. And then in this interview, this was 2002. Apparently, he did an album which had Brad stuff, David Gates stuff on it. Plus, I think he said there were 5 new songs on it. But this back in 2002. He's quite old now. Like he's got to be in his mid 80s by now, I would think. So like he wasn't young when Brad was doing their stuff. So because they were all studio musicians. Like these guys had had a career before Brad, and then it's sort of like Toto. They just sort of got together and formed their own band. You know, they were all studio musicians.
Yeah.
There you go. There's David Gates in a nutshell.
David Gates, no relation to Bill.
Thankfully.
Whatever. Or not, it depends on your viewpoint. Let's see. All the other guys are gone. Like everybody else in Brad. Oh, I think Rob Royer is still alive, but Mike Botts, Larry Netchell, and Jimmy Griffin, they're all gone. They all passed away a few years ago. So he's the only one left. Let's see. He is 84.
Yeah.
born year, same year as John Lennon and Ringo Starr.
Wow.
And of course,
Actually, 2 months and 2 days after John Lennon.
now David Gates is from Oklahoma. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can he still has that Oklahoma accent.
Yeah.
He still has that. So.
Matter of fact, I think he did a couple albums of country music, I believe.
Oh yeah, he definitely has. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He did a bunch of yeah. Let's see here, studio albums. He did 2 more after what I've got. He did one called Take Me Now. And then in 94, he did one, Love Is Always 17. And that's all. And Wikipedia compilation albums, the David Gates Songbook. So that's the one he was talking about that has 5 new songs on it. So let's see if I can track that down. Because it's kind of a greatest. It's like 20 songs on it. It must be a double. It's got 20 songs on it, or it's a CD, probably a CD. I'm gonna see if I can track that down, see what the new songs sound like. But that's kind of the last thing he's done. There you have it.
Yeah, we have the David Gates Appreciation Society.
There, that killed like 10 minutes. That was good.
Yeah. But there's some things that are better.
Yeah, well, arguably. Who knows? Maybe they were on these albums.
Could have been.
Wow,
Maybe you'll see Larry Netchell on there.
Yeah, or some of the other guys.
You're likely to see, if anybody, you probably would see Larry Netchell.
Yeah.
As a keyboard player.
Yeah.
I've seen his name on a few different things. So
White lady, like, oh.
That's a nice song.
No.
That was a top 10 hit for him.
It got a lot of airplay that summer. And I did a lot of dial twisting that summer too.
Larry Netchell is on Mr. Tambourine Man. He did stuff with Barbra Streisand. He did stuff on Pet Sounds.
We have a partisan today.
Played on the Doors debut album. He played with Elvis. Sure. He played with Cher. Simon and Garfunkel. This guy was around.
No, it's him.
It's him. It's his birthday.
Mr. Bite Boy himself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's Jeremy Gilwack's birthday.
The Biter. He played with Elvis Costello. He was in the 90s. Paul Simon. Dave Mason. Oh my goodness. Nancy Sinatra. Wow. This guy got around. Glenn Campbell. That's kind of to be expected. Dan Hill. Oh, geez.
Oh.
Harry Nelson.
Nelson?
Jimmy Webb. Holy cow. Jose Feliciano. Check out Larry Netchell. It's Knechettel. On Wikipedia. If you're interested, you'll be amazed at what this guy has done. But he passed away in 2009. Oh, he's only 69 years old. Oh my goodness.
Just a young boy.
Well, the other two, Jimmy Griffin and Mike Botts, died the same year too, and they were like 61. They weren't that old.
They were young.
Yeah.
That might have been Vito Scotti.
Could have been.
Could have been Vito. You think Vito off them? Maybe Vito off them.
Could have been.
He 86'd them. Apparently 86ing is the thing to do now.
Yes. So.
There, I'm sorry, I got bored, so I just did something I had to do. So there.
Okay.
That's fine. Good bored down there.
Okay. It's okay, no problem.
Don't you enjoy the speech on?
I don't like drama. I don't like drama. I don't care whose fault it is. I don't like drama.
Okay.
Drama gone for now.
Drama.
For now, I didn't. They can come back in a while. But
Was
I'm
there
done.
drama? Did I miss drama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I missed
Oh,
it.
okay. That drama over there in the you know.
Yeah, somewhere in another dimension. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Let's let
I
them
got
fight it
tired
out.
of it. I got tired
Oh.
of it. Sorry to both of you, but stop it there.
Stop it. Tim Allen said stop.
Just do that to them.
Stop it.
Mhm.
And stop it. Did I have something else here I wanted to bring up here?
I was Wikipediaing, so I missed them. I love it.
Okay.
So what do you have, Doc?
I smell meat
I
pie.
have something, but I think it's a little early for a commercial.
Okay.
So we have a few minutes to go.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Have any of you seen the I wouldn't say they're ads, but people have been making videos and stuff about the new Beetle. They're doing the Beetle again. And what do you think of it?
The new
you have.
Beetle.
Yeah, the Volkswagen Beetle. There's a new Volkswagen Beetle. I love it.
Oh.
I think it's way better than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Is
It
that
looks
the one
to me, it looks more like the original than the last one did.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome.
Is that the one that's supposed to be?
Looks like the original one.
It looks more like the original one than the last Beetle did.
Yeah,
but
the
it's
other one.
lower. It's just cool. It has a cool effect. It has an amazing interior. And they're also doing the Carmen Ghia.
Oh, okay.
Which is even more amazing, maybe.
That's a little sports car. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No, my mom had two bugs.
So I think that's cool.
Yeah, she had one bug convertible at one time. I wish I still had that car, but it would be kind of ridiculous because she had the car like 50 years ago. So, in the early 70s.
This isn't some sort of AI business, is it?
No. They're really doing the Carmen Ghia and
the VW bug.
And I'm liking it.
Yeah.
If it's AI, then there's 20 people doing AI because I've seen it all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't talk about models or trains.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Volkswagen Beetle. I think it looks cool.
Didn't Hitler design the original one in the 30s?
No, did not.
What does Hitler know about cars?
Well, it was called the people's car in Germany.
But that doesn't mean he sat there with a pencil.
Well, he didn't do it. He had somebody do it. Said, "Yo, design the car." Yeah.
The people's car comes from just not Hitler.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Communism, in basically communism. Any car that the people could afford was called a people's car, and they had to be dirt cheap and unreliable, and bare bones, and James May's done shows about the people's car. They did on Top Gear too, actually.
We're supposed to be bringing back the Dodge Viper.
See, I don't care. I don't think they made a good car in America since the 60s. So I don't care about American cars.
Well, depends what people here. Who knows what Zach Starkey's doing these days? I don't know.
He should have. I think he would have been the drummer for the Oasis tour in the fall if he wasn't drumming for the Who fired him. I think that's a shame. But
I'm seeing some.
He was their drummer on their last couple of albums.
Yeah, there are some ads on YouTube about the VW. Here's an ad about a VW Bug truck.
I haven't seen a truck, but I haven't seen the truck, but I just think the car just looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, people thought the new Beetle looked cool until they saw the price.
I like the last one too, but this one's even the last one. The dashboard was too big. The way it was set up, the dashboard was literally like 1.5 feet long. I mean, you couldn't reach to put, and you know how you got to put your inspection sticker on the corner. You couldn't do it on the Beetle. It was too far away. Your windshield was the new one looks more like the Beetle, but yet it's cool.
But you could put a flower into the dashboard. How cool is that?
Now, I remember my dad saying a new VW Bug was real cheap, like even like in the early '70s, it was like $2,000 or $3,000.
Mr. Ed needs those.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? The movie Charade?
Quaker Oats needs those.
Because of a screw up with the copyright? Thank goodness.
Well, that happened to lots of movies. I mean, that happened to almost everything on Liberty. Films went to public domain for a long time because they went bankrupt and nobody thought to renew the films. And, that's why It's a Wonderful Life was in public domain all those years.
Mm-hmm. You could go to the thrift store and find a copy of the VHS.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it wouldn't be the movie it is today. It wouldn't have the reputation it has today if it didn't go public domain. So PBS and a lot of other channels started showing it for free because they could, and that's why the movie has the reputation it has. It would have been largely forgotten without that. So it's not always a bad thing.
Well, James, that would be kind of hard for Disney to do Wacky Races because Wacky Races is owned by Warner Brothers. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I have to say something different, like crazy driving, or they have a synonym.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't have it ready here, but there's that commercial that was done in Czechoslovakia.
They've kind of already done the Wacky Racers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did the Wacky Racers in many different forms. Like the last one was the Cannonball Run movies. That was just the Wacky Racers. That's all that was.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie called The Great Race starring Kirk Douglas, and that's where the Wacky Races came from.
Yeah.
Watch that movie, and that's the Wacky Races.
Yeah, The Great Race. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, The Great Race is
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
And even It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World had that elements, in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
funny little bits.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on Bill
Dick
Maher?
Dastardly is Jack Lemmon in that movie. I mean,
Bill
that
Maher.
wasn't his name, but that's
Bill Maher.
Well, I've commented on Bill Maher before. My one comment on Bill Maher is he's not smart. He's a smart ass. That's all I'll say about Bill Maher.
I never liked Bill Maher. Sorry, he's just not my cup of tea.
He cherry picks his information, and when somebody gets him cornered, he changes the subject. So, whatever.
I don't know. I've been watching quite a bit of Jimmy Kimmel lately. He's a grandfather now,
Yeah, Tony Curtis. That's who I meant. Tony Curtis is in The Great Race. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in it, and there were a number of big names. Wasn't Terry Thomas?
Jack Lemmon, Natalie Wood.
Yeah, there's a lot of names in that. Yeah, it's one of those blockbuster movies.
True.
Busted blocks. Busted blocks.
I presume he's talking about Tony Curtis was great on DC Cab.
But he was in that one.
I
I
guess.
don't remember that one.
Yeah. Peter Falk.
Peter Falk was in it. That's right.
Peter Falk was Jack Lemmon's, accomplice in.
That's right. Yeah. He was really young.
Yeah.
Too. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I started watching. I downloaded the all the Columbo series, so I started watching Columbo. Because I just love that show.
It's great. Oh, Peter Falk was great.
The first, like the movie, the precursor to it was very different, like a very different character. Like it was, very different. Like he's still the same basic idea, but he was a bit of a hard ass. Like it was quite a bit of a different character. Murder by Prescription, I think was the movie, right?
Mhm.
And it was very different than the first
Yeah,
episode.
well, there was two movies before it became a show.
Yeah.
I think there was two, and then it became
Yeah,
a
the
show.
second movie was very different than the first one. The second one had
Yeah.
Lee Grant in it. Remember, she played the killer in that one. Yeah, very different. Still good though.
Called
Yeah,
Prescription
Prescription
Murder.
Yeah, that was the first one, and a very different character. Even looked different. He had the raincoat, but his hair was different. Everything was different.
Yeah.
His demeanor
Well,
was
that
different.
was his raincoat. He talks about that. That was he owned that raincoat. He said probably 10 years before Columbo, and he wore the same raincoat in every single episode of Columbo. He's like,
That's right.
it's pretty fragile these days.
Kate played Mrs. Columbo. It didn't last very long, but she came
You're
out.
not supposed to see Mrs. Columbo. That was, I didn't
Well,
like
they
that.
did that spin-off, and then she went into outer space, and that's the last.
Yeah, they
everybody
shot her
saw.
in
It's like Vera on Cheers. You don't see Vera on Cheers, you know.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to see Mrs. Columbo. Can we play the shoe game again?
The shoe game.
Anybody got any shoe?
Oh, he's talking about Chrono Photo. Yeah. Too early. We're not that desperate yet. We got to get more desperate before we do that, Lee. Sorry.
When we get really desperate.
The last Columbo I watched was a movie from either 89 or 90. And it starts out at this dog show. You know, there's an award, and it's all basset hounds. And who's there but Columbo with his basset hound? And all of these other basset hounds, you know, these trained basset hounds, you know, that are very nice looking dogs and doing it. And Columbo's, which is, I swear, weighs like 75 or 100 pounds. It's huge. It's fat. It's dobbling along. It's not doing anything you want. It's like, and Columbo's up there parading his dog around with all these little dogs in his.
He loved his dog.
This is pretty funny.
Yeah, there's 10 seasons of Columbo. Now, some of the seasons were only like 6 episodes, but
yeah, they pretty much all were. You know, that's because he shared it with 2 or 3 or 4 other shows, depending.
Yeah,
on
it was season 6 was only 3 episodes.
Yeah,
I kind of doubt the dog survived all 10 seasons.
Well,
but then there's the movies afterwards that are just as many more probably after the series ended that he did while it was on. But they're better than like the
they call them. My download calls them specials, and so they've got there's like 8 movies. And if you count season 10, I don't know, when did he come back? That was 89.
More than 8. Yeah, he came back in the late 80s and into the 90s.
So I'm not sure what they're called, what constitutes this season. Maybe season 8 was the comeback. I don't know, but there's quite a few.
Anyway. I don't know, but because those weren't a regular. They were just, you know, movies of the week. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and.
Barely
he
kind of did
what 6 collection of those.
They did the same thing with Perry Mason, right? They did those series of movies.
Yeah, but Columbo's are way better than the Perry Mason.
Anyway, it's fun to watch.
The same.
It's fun to watch. I mean, you know, sometimes I find myself getting annoyed at them. I think that's the best part of it. It's like, Jesus.
Well,
it's so well done.
What I love about it is the people never try to escape at the end when they've got him. I mean, it's just him. He probably doesn't even have a gun. It's just him and the guy alone or the woman, and they never try to escape. They just stand there and take it, and then it's over. You know.
Well, he wears them down. I think they're exhausted by the time they get to that point.
Yeah, you got me.
So Peter Falk did have a glass eye. Yes. I think his right eye was a glass eye.
Yeah. So like, did Peter Falk and Sammy Davis Jr. ever see eye to eye?
Oh, boy, that took some thought.
Mm.
Come on now.
That'd be a good private eye show. Yeah.
Come back, people.
Fox's right eye was surgically removed when he was 3 because of a retinoblastoma. It sounds like a cancer. He wore an artificial eye for most of his life. The artificial eye was the cause of his trademark squint. Despite this limitation, as a boy, he participated in team sports, mainly baseball and basketball. In 1997 interview in Cigar Aficionado magazine with Mark, he said, "I can remember once in high school, the umpire called me out at third base when I was sure I was safe. I got so mad, I took out my glass eye and handed it to him and said, 'Try this.'"
They scared somebody.
So yeah, he's only 3. Holy cow!
Wow, I wonder if that's where I just read a Dean Koontz book. I just finished it called From the Corner of Your Eye. And I think it's the best book Dean Koontz ever read. It's like over 700 pages. This is a long book. But it's about this child who, when he's 3, he gets cancer of the eyes and he loses both eyes and they put in glass eyes. And I'm like, I wonder if Dean Koontz got that from David Falk because the same age and everything.
Who knows? Heck Ramsey, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Heck
McLeod.
Ramsey was a pretty good show, actually. That was with Richard Boone. That was a pretty interesting show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know how many episodes there were. I don't think there were that many, but it was well done. It was a period piece, like it was early 1900s, I think. Still kind of Old West theme to it. Yeah.
I kind of reminds me, I watched a game show this morning and it had, like name the show from the star of the show. And they put up Sebastian Cabot, name the show he starred on. I'm going like, what about Brian Keith? Of course, nobody likes Brian Keith.
Well, that would have been a giveaway. That would have been a giveaway, though. I gotta make it somewhat challenging.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like they had Carol O'Connor, and Sebastian Cabot. And I'm going like, Sebastian Cabot wasn't the star of the show. But to most people, yeah, he was. Nobody liked Brian Keith.
I always liked Mannix. Yeah, Mannix was a good show, too. It got canceled because it was too violent, apparently. That was the big... It's like you watch the stuff out there now, it's laughable.
Yeah.
What is out there now? I don't even know.
Well, I've been network shows and
you watch on YouTube.
Like NCIS or something?
Millen and Wife. Yeah. Susan St. James.
Yeah.
Cannon. He's as big as a cannon. Yeah, they had all those shows. Yeah.
Rockford Files. Yeah.
Rockford was number 1.
Yeah.
Great character, great scripts. Yeah, that was a really well done show.
Mm-hmm. I've been binge watching The Twilight Zone and Ironside myself.
The Streets of San Francisco.
That one too.
Quinn Martin production.
Mm-hmm.
QM, he did everything. That guy.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, watching Ironside, and Raymond Burr has yet to run over anybody's toe with his wheelchair. So.
Okay.
Show for 8 years.
I had a beef. I talked about this on Mayo's movie show, but on one of my Columbo discs, there was this half an hour special of the 10 best private eyes ever on television. Okay, according to us. Apparently, they ran a poll or whatever. I can't remember if it was 5 or 6. Was Quincy? I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That's not
Quinn, all these people that weren't on the list, and there's Quincy.
He's a foreigner.
Quincy should not. And Magnum was number 1, which just teed me off.
They just like the car.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Magnum had, it was a sexy setting, and the women loved him.
Yeah,
and,
but
I get the Magnum.
I mean,
thing.
No, it's a
the
drag.
Magnum character, it wasn't the same character, but the idea for the Magnum character came from the Rockford Files.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
played by the same guy as on the Rockford Files. They just changed the setting to Hawaii.
Well, yeah,
changed his
Lance
name.
White. There were some of the fun. There was two of those episodes of Lance White. They were hilarious.
There's more than that. There's 3 or 4.
Well, whatever, but they were hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
just
he
everything went well. The cops all liked him. Everything went right for him.
Yeah.
And Rocker was just getting pissed off. What do you mean? He's like, well, oh yeah, Jim, Chapman's a good guy, Just like, he had the white Cadillac.
Well, was Rockford Fowl more of a comedy then?
Well, those episodes were pretty funny.
Well, there were comic elements in it, but I would never
Yeah.
call Rockford Files a comedy.
Well, James Garner always had that in his shows, though. Like, he always had a sense of
Yeah.
humor. Like Maverick was the same thing,
Yeah, and
There was
even
always
his
that
movies,
off-the-wall sense of humor.
even his Western movies. What was he did 2 of those?
Yeah,
about
support
a
your local
sheriff.
sheriff, support your local gunfighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then support your local gunfighter or whatever. He did both of those, and he did everything with a wink. It wasn't necessarily a comedy, but there's a wink.
There's always a tongue-in-cheek thing going on. with him.
yeah.
And I think that's why he was successful. He didn't take himself seriously, and it reflected in his shows.
No.
Like,
Yeah, I like the first one, the support your local sheriff, because that Jack Elam. Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
He broke both the thumbs, but it looks like he's right-handed.
Yeah.
He breaks his other thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Okay. Being that we got a cat on the screen, it's time to.
If you've been in an
Have a
accident that
commercial
wasn't your
here.
fault, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe. Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one is laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupefying. That's why you need to call the number on your screen now. You'll be connected to a legal expert. You got questions, they got answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the parlance, the jargon, and the argot. They'll even tell you how much your case could be worth. 300,000, 2 million, 86,491, all sorts of numbers. Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get money, I don't get money. So I compel you, I impel you, and implore you to pick up that phone and make that call now to see what your case could be worth.
Call Allied Injury Group for a free consultation.
800-450-0620.
Was that the real one? Not a spoof?
Looks like the guy who is the mayor of New York City.
No,
So you-
no,
Like Jackie Childs, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's.
Told you to use the bomb. I just say use the bomb. Once you use the bomb, nobody told you to use the bomb.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. It's trying to do Jackie Childs, but it's kind of funny though.
That was,
Trying to recreate Jackie Childs.
That was the Morris guy.
Late at night. Yeah. With the infomercials about
Lawyer stuff.
that stuff that Thigh Master, the one that Suzanne Summers did.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Thigh Master.
Jackie Childs. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
All kinds of movies.
McLeod was a spinoff of Coogan's Bluff, the Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood movie. That's where McLeod came from.
Mhm.
And here I thought we'd be talking about Seinfeld after that.
Okay.
I'm just going over the comments. Sorry, I changed the topic. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's call me Bill Maher.
I read somewhere that James Arness wanted Dennis Weaver to come back of the last season of Gunsmoke and do one more episode with Chester. and he was thinking about it, but he just couldn't. He was too busy.
Well, he would have been doing.
McLeod.
He would have still been doing McLeod then, I would think. Yeah.
And he did Duel around the time he started McLeod. He also did Duel for Spielberg. So he was a busy dude.
Busy guy. So. But that's okay.
Good old Dennis Weaver.
There's a cat wanting outside.
I know.
I hear cats.
They want to go out in the backyard.
I don't know if it's my cats or I got a window open or a cat outside or whatever.
No, I have the back window open and the cat goes there and meows because my son has some cats and his cats come over and have a conversation with my cats. See?
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, that's all that.
What do they talk about, Jeff?
Okay.
Probably about you. What's he feeding you? How's he treating you?
Oh, he's pretty good. Yeah.
Probably talking about all the.
That's an oldie.
That's what they're talking about. Ah!
Looking cat, I gotta tell you.
That's an oldie. Yeah. Mine's in the box.
Ooh. Let him out of the box.
Okay, that's not him. Here he is.
I put mine away.
Hey.
Beads. Oh, da!
Psycho's Platters is running old episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And here we were with me, Jeff, and Beans on. When was that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, old stuff like that.
No, I have another one.
Band Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jeff has a lot of cats.
I do.
More cats than you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit it.
Yeah. Hit it. How disgusting. but do the cats kind of like, where the hell is that coming from?
Well, a couple of them have noticed that.
This sounds really great on my old stereo.
What is it? Oh, that one. Okay.
Just
this stereo is pretty good. Yeah.
Remember, Kids by Walter Trout.
Yes, it is.
That was I guess that went over his head. Anyway.
Yeah, it went over Doc's head.
That went over your head. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Not like I can replay that. Mm-hmm. Walter Trout.
No.
I was
Talking
saying,
about the stereo that he's had since 1978, and it was great.
That was really good. Oh, forget it. The timing is destroyed here.
Not only that, but I don't even have the thing listed up.
Techniques from 1978.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Still works great.
Oh my God.
The reaction was priceless.
Yeah. Oh, he still has it. You don't have it.
No, I don't. I
that one? No.
I got rid of the pee the bed commercial. I'm sorry. I can only have so much in the Rolodex.
So the peel of the bed commercial's
When I
gone.
want to put more
No,
stuff on, I got a warning. You can't
It's
add
on
it.
an old episode. Yes, you can go back and You're staying in. Okay.
You tell
Come on, man.
And my cat's calling his brothers and sisters because they want to have a conversation.
Well, they like to
Meow,
talk.
meow, 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 meow.
Oh, I've been invaded by a dog.
Mm-hmm. They broke your cats.
Come on up. Come on up.
There's the puppy. Look at that puppy. Aw. Happy puppy.
Happy dog, yes.
And Brady is home now.
Yeah, so I'll give you a Brady update. He was, we had him to the hospital on Tuesday for an ultrasound. He's got a shaved belly again, which is kind of a bummer. But anyway, so the oncologist said she can't see any trace of the cancer.
Good.
Which is great. So we're not going to do any more chemo for now, and we'll do another ultrasound in 3 months.
Here we go. Hey!
Yay.
He seems to be doing. She's really happy with his progress.
Very good. Good for Brady.
Yeah, the statistics aren't good, but our family vet said, don't forget, statistics aren't about one dog. It's about a bunch of dogs. He said, every dog is different.
Brady was
so we got a dog which was diagnosed with pretty much the same thing, and he was given like 3 months, and that was a year and a half ago. So it's it is what it is, right?
You must be feeding them well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, dogs are tough. People don't understand how tough dogs are unless you live with dogs. They can take a lot. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Good news as it is, so we'll go with that.
Who had a better singing voice, Paul Simon or James?
I'd say James Taylor.
I'd say James Taylor.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say Paul Simon. I'm going to disagree.
Oh, you would be different.
Okay.
Well, Paul Simon had
great voice, and Paul Simon, he rarely did it, but he could sing a rock and roll song, and I'm not sure James Taylor could. Paul Simon could do that too. He didn't do it very often, but like on their last album, Baby Driver is a rock and roll song, and he's singing that. Might be my favorite vocal he ever did. Well, yeah, I'll give it to him.
I still like Kodachrome. Still my favorite. I don't think I have any James Taylor.
I like earlier stuff.
I always liked his album, Sweet Baby James. I love Fire and Rain. It's an amazing song.
But he'd have a hit, and a lot of the times his hits was a remake of an oldie.
Oh yeah, like Mockingbird.
Yeah, like Mockingbird and Up on the Roof, and
a lot of your best songwriters, some of their biggest hits were covers. It's just a mystery. Harry Nilsson too. Harry Nilsson's two biggest hits were covers. Yeah, he's one of the best songwriters we've ever had, but his two biggest hits were covers.
Yeah, Without You is amazing. He did an amazing version of that.
It just happens,
actually.
James is partial to Cecilia.
I really like their song "Hazy Shade of Winter." That was kind of out of their characteristic. It wasn't a mellow, acoustic song. It was kind of
I think the Bangles did a good job of that.
Yeah, Handyman's good.
They did.
I liked his earlier stuff more than his later stuff, but Fire and Rain is amazing. So that's about his time in the asylum, So it's really.
You could call me out.
No, that's not. That's Paul Simon. That's James Taylor.
Yeah. Paul Simon.
You don't have to call me Johnson.
Artie Johnson. No, Artie Garfunkel had a good singing voice.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
I got.
Well, he had to be there for. If he didn't, I don't think he would have been there. He didn't play an instrument. He didn't write songs. If he couldn't sing, what would he have done? And Paul Simon a towel once in a while so he could wipe his face. What would he have done?
He could sing though. He did have a lovely voice. I got a number of his solo albums, and they're pretty
have
good.
a best of, and his music is real mellow.
But it's all contemporary.
Yeah. If you want to mellow out and just relax, put on one of his records.
Yeah. No, he could sing. No doubt about that. Nice voice.
I don't have any Art Garfunkel.
Funny hair. Well, it's you have to have a taste for that sort of stuff. Like at that time I was like into that. well, there's a number of other things, but stuff that Neil Diamond was doing and Art Garfunkel, and that sort of stuff is more mellow kind of stuff. It's nice and stuff.
Yeah, I found the Garfunkel best of at the thrift store last year, and I'll take it home. It's good, So.
Well, till around 1978, where I lived, it was only AM radio, so you heard like Art Garfunkel and James Taylor and Paul Simon constantly, because we didn't have FM. We weren't hearing, the Doors. You were hearing Art Garfunkel. That's what AM did.
Yeah, James, they kind of shared that song between the two of them.
Oh yeah, because it had on both their solo albums.
Yeah,
and it had almost any later best ofs. It was a reunion hit.
What you got?
You got them all. Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is their whole discography.
Their catalog.
Yeah.
Somehow that doesn't look like a whole lot, but.
Well, they did how many albums? 5 or 6? Anyway.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Now I've got it on vinyl. And the only thing I don't like about having it on vinyl is cheap, and it was a great way to get it. The only thing I don't like about it on vinyl is you don't get the album covers. You don't get them there either. You might get them in a book or something, but you don't get them in the album at all.
Yeah, it gives you all the lyrics and stuff. It's a decent set. I don't think it was that expensive either. I remember when I bought it; it wasn't that expensive.
I think I only bought the box set. I think it was in the 2020s sometime. Maybe it was
3 CDs. You get 3 CDs on it.
But,
They're there.
On vinyl, I think I spent $20 for the box set. And it's everything they ever did.
Yeah, it is.
Minus the B-sides and stuff that probably
on it. But it's all their albums, right? So
it's all their albums.
It was a bargain, and it was ADD as well, so it's from an
Ooh, that's the best.
analog source, right? So
Did you know that Art Garfunkel Jr. is a singer?
I think I heard that somewhere.
Well, then he better look up Paul Simon Jr. then.
Yeah. I don't think Paul Simon has kids, does he? Oh no.
Well, sometimes things just don't work out.
Did he have a wife before? Was he ever married before Carrie Fisher? I don't think he was.
I don't think so. That is the greatest hits.
Yeah, that's the first one.
That's good for the car.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a CD player.
Yeah.
Sold 1 billion or so copies.
Yeah, I see that in the Bergen bins lots of times.
Yeah. I have the best of Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah,
I've got that on CD. I've got that 2-disc best of with black and white cover. And I'll take on the Bookends album cover. It's got most of what you'd want on it.
Yeah.
And everything is 3 discs, and this is a 2-disc set, so it's most of what you'd want.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hear a sad.
So, I still think "Sounds of Silence" is easily one of the best songs to come out of the '60s. What an incredible song! Very powerful song. Both versions.
Because they wanted to do solo.
Well, there's 3 versions. Did you know there's 3 versions?
I didn't know there was 3. I just know the 2 from the albums.
When that happened, when they put a band to it, Paul Simon went off to England without Art Garfunkel and recorded an album just called Paul Simon, and "Sounds of Silence" is on that too. So there's 3 versions of "Sounds of Silence."
That probably
musically and lyrically, it's just it's got to be one of the best songs to come out of the '60s. It's just an incredible piece of music. It really is.
better than Sugar Sugar.
Yeah, a little bit.
Better than yummy, yummy, yummy. Goodness.
Now you're being silly.
I can't accept that.
No,
I'd rather listen to Simon Says than The Sound of Silence.
I don't know which version I like better, the acoustic version of the band, but I mean, it's just, I'll listen to either one. It's fantastic. What a great song.
From a guy that thinks Bob Dylan is an awful songwriter, I get that from you, Doc.
I don't like Bob Dylan.
I know you don't.
James likes the disturbed version of Sounds of Silence. Boy, what does that sound like? Wow.
Actually, there's probably more than 3 because there's probably a version or 2 on the Graduate soundtrack. There's probably like 4 or 5 versions of Sounds of Silence.
Wow,
all by at least Paul Simon, if not Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So a bunch of records for that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that, well, just this is how many versions of Yesterday are there, right? So.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking that Simon and Garfunkel have that many versions. They have quite a few. Not covers. But,
maybe we could get a version of Sounds of Silence by Sandler and Young.
I'm sure they probably did it.
It could happen.
They probably did it.
Call up Stephen Snee. Hey, could you play The Sounds of Silence by Sandler and Young?
Yeah. Mrs. Robinson won Record of the Year or Song of the Year in like 1968, something like that from the soundtrack. Well,
Cuckoo Cuckoo.
Yeah, it beat out because I Am the Walrus was nominated.
Oh.
I Am the Walrus. So.
Oh my gosh. Cleveland Guardians 7, Detroit Tigers nothing.
They lose?
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
That's enough of that.
At least my Oklahoma City.
Those darn cats.
Oh, they're loud cats.
They are.
Hey, knock it off.
That's the way I feel about the Cleveland Guardians at the moment.
Yeah.
Your cats are starting to sound like dogs, Jeff.
Yeah, they are.
I have his first one. I have Sonny Bono's first album.
Oh,
It's kind of a psychedelic.
Music news. I got music news.
Kind of a psychedelic masterpiece, his first album.
Have you heard the Bad Company music news?
What's that?
Bad Company? Well, they've been inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
for
one thing. And Paul Rogers is working on sounds like a box set of Bad Company stuff. So I don't know if he's going to do the whole catalog or what's going on there.
Ooh.
But they're going to be reissuing that stuff coming up, which sounds pretty cool.
Is it going to be the stuff when he was in the group or after? Because
I would imagine just when he's in the group.
Okay.
I don't think they'll do the Steve Howe stuff, but who knows? I don't know. They might.
They should, if they want it to be complete.
Yeah.
They kind of even what's his name? Mick. What's his nuts? Ralph's. Mick Ralph's. Is even kind of turned his back on that era of but. Who knows? Like it is Bad Company. It's just not Paul Rogers' Bad Company. And as far as I'm concerned, that was Bad Company. But anyway,
in name only.
Well, it was just they took a whole different direction with Paul Rogers. It was very bluesy oriented stuff, and I love that stuff, as you know. And with Steve Howe is more of a pop, 80s kind of vibe to it.
That doesn't fit Bad Company.
Like power ballads and that sort of stuff. And it's like, I don't know. That's not my thing. A lot of people like it, and that's cool. That's good.
Yeah, well, it will appeal to some people.
Yeah. So again, I don't know if that's what is going to be included or not. If it's not, I don't care because I only listen to the 6 albums with Paul Rogers on them anyway. So
Yeah.
I do too. I love the Dickies. Dickies were great.
Dickies. I haven't heard that version, but yeah.
I think it's a bit kind of on the faster side.
Dickies did like 2-minute songs. They did my favorite Dickies song is they did Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and it's about 2 minutes long, and they did both of the guitar solos. They did it everything. They did the entire song.
Well, John Lennon did a sequel to
great.
it, right? John Lennon did a sequel to it, the national anthem of Newtopia.
That's the fastest song ever played.
Well, it's silent, right? It's silent. Silent.
Go watch Professor of Rock. You'll find out.
Well, the one I keep plugging because they're on tour right now is the Go-Go's.
Oh yeah, that's one.
Go-Go's is one of the few bands that has all original members.
I assume he's talking about a classic rock band.
Yeah.
There's probably bands that are just
started in
forming.
'79. That's not.
There's a band formed last week that still has all the members alive.
Yeah.
So,
but when you think about it, the Go-Go's started in '79, right? At least they made their first record in '79. The Ramones made their first record in '76.
Well,
that's only 3 years apart.
That's an interesting question. I'm trying to think of who it would be. Like that's not easy.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I can't think of one '60s band where I remember.
Well, I'm thinking more classic rock, which is '70s.
Well, again,
late '60s, early '70s. But yeah, no, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Only the Professor of Rock knows.
No, he doesn't. Whoever writes his scripts knows. He doesn't know anything.
Band still has all members still alive. And again, I'm assuming. Well, it could be Dire Straits.
But they're only like a year older than the Go-Go's.
The Police, they're still all around.
They're about maybe a year older than the Go. I mean, most of these, that's why I said the Go-Go's. The Go-Go's first record's '79, but I don't know when they, got together.
So it could be. Yeah, we need clarity in that question. We need some direction. Like, are we talking 70s bands, 60s bands?
Yeah, 60s. I can't think of any. I can't think of.
No, I don't think there would be any. That's 60 years ago. Ding.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the bands. Well, Grand Funk. I guess they're still all around.
Oh yeah, they're all living, I believe.
Yeah, they're still around.
The Bengals started in the '80s, though.
Even Craig Frost, is still around.
Very early.
Is the James Gang Boys? I think they're still all around.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Probably a few when you think of it. Yeah. Like that, not even the Guess Who, because the Guess Who lost Kurt Winter.
I think there's a member of Foghat that's dead.
The original Guess Who, even if you think of that, Chad Allen's gone. But if you think of the Guess Who, the American Woman version of the band, they're still all around. BTO. Well, no, BTO, no, because the two brothers died.
Well.
Wait. Okay, so who are these guys?
Who are those people?
Looks like
no one knows. But he doesn't say that's the whole band either. They're just all the ones that are still living. He doesn't say that that's the whole band.
It's clickbait.
He doesn't say that's the old band. That's the 4 living members.
Well, that is kind of the implied thing, though. I mean,
well, yeah. I'm not going to spend an hour to watch it to find out, but
I'm not going to spend any time watching it. No.
Go watch it and let us know. Quit being such a wimp.
It looks like 4 out of the 5 members of the Zombies.
No, he says all 4 living members.
But
Yeah,
they're
but we don't
fine.
even know that that's, we don't even
Well,
know
all
that
four
that's
living members doesn't mean all 4 members. It just means these are the 4 living members. Doesn't
I see.
mean, you know.
Oh, it's
the animals. I don't know.
gee.
I just had somebody, then I lost them.
Gina Shock and Kathy Valentine Artie.
They're still alive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're still playing.
Simon.
I
and
saw
Oh
I
yeah,
saw
they
them
are. All those.
at Coachella, and they did a song with Billy Joe Armstrong. It was pretty good. He sang lead.
I just found out something the other day. I never made the connection, but I was watching Midnight Special, one of the first shows, and they had Argent on. Of course, Rod Argent was from the Zombies, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize this, and I've been a Russ Ballard fan for years. I've got a number of his solo albums. I didn't realize he was the lead singer and lead guitarist of Argent. I didn't know that. Russ Ballard. So that's where he came from. Because I just started buying Russ Ballard albums because I heard the stuff on the radio. I thought, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't make any connection that he came from Argent.
Well, but maybe they're not original members. They're on the first record. The first single came out on Stiff Records in 1979, and they're on it. So they're original members as far as I'm concerned, because it's like it's you can nitpick like that, like the original members aren't on the first Runaways album because the bassist for the Runaways was Michael Steele. But that doesn't count because by the time they made the album, she's gone.
Russ Ballard is English. I don't think he's related to Kay Ballard. So
As for Argent, the bass player and the drummer were both at the same time in the Kinks.
Right.
In the Arista days. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just made that connection the other day. And I thought, oh, that's cool, because like I said, I love Russ Ballard stuff. It's pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got that song called Voices that came out in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, that was on Miami Vice, and that's like I was buying his albums before that. When that came on Miami Vice, I already knew about him. So I don't know why I got into him. I must have heard him on like FM radio or something. No, this guy's pretty good. So I went out and started
that
buying.
song got quite a bit of airplay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that was his big hit, and probably because of Miami Vice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I bought the single, so I had it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good tune. A
Voice.
lot of the stuff was like that. That was kind of typical.
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd he go?
He went away.
I think all of the original members of the Manfred Mann pop group were alive. Matter of fact, all members of both Manfred Mann pop groups are alive.
Doc's a big fan of the Manfred Mann Earth Band.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know this, Jeff?
I just okay.
I'm assuming this is his third album because of the title, but I don't know. I always like this title, Barnett Dogs. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Wow. It's like my dog.
Oh
whoa. Then we have Into the Fire. 3D cover.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Stop it, you're hypnotizing me.
I think this was the first one I bought. And this was, when was this out? Give me a date. You're not giving me a date. No date. Anyway, it would have been like, oh, here we are, 84. No, that can't have been the first, because I was into him before that. Anyway, good stuff. If you never heard Russ Ballard, he's worth checking out. This is the last one stuff. Now I imagine he's got some other things that I don't have, but those are the 5 I do have.
Mm-hmm.
What a collection! Fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. I love Russ Ballard.
Mm-hmm. Well, according to AI, all of the original members of Manfred Mann are still living.
Cool.
Wow.
because
That's
they are
the original band.
they're the '60s group. They're both '60s.
Yeah, not the Earth band. The
Not
original.
the Earth Band, because after Paul Jones left, they got Mike Dabo, and they're more of a folk rock kind of feel. And Klaus Fort joined on bass. But there's a group called the Manfreds that has a lot of Paul Jones and Mike Dabo both sing.
Between the original band and the Earth band, he put a band together a band called the Chapter 3.
Oh yeah, with jazzy.
He did 2 albums, and it's got really heavy jazzy, bluesy flavor to it. And I've only got one of those albums, but I like it. It's very different than anything else he ever did, but it's really still quite good. I enjoy that. Third Chapter, it's called.
Right, and in Germany, there's still a Man for Man. Man for Man is still going. He's 85.
Chapter 3, it's called. He's still doing it, eh?
85.
I got all the Earth band stuff. I love that stuff.
I have a best of and a best of the '60s group. I had to buy it for England to get both.
The Ramones and Badfinger come to mind, Lee.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Cab Calloway.
Sweet has one living member, the guitarist.
Not a band, Doc.
Andy Scott's still alive. Andy Scott, the guitarist, is still alive. A Sweet.
And one guy still trying to. There was a new album put out not too long ago.
Andy Scott, Sweet.
Like there's lots of bands with just one member left. Big Star only has Jody Stevens left.
The guy with the long white hair, that was
that's Andy Scott. That's Andy Scott.
I would be happy to never hear the song Brandy ever again. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Looking Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Looking Glass. Oh dear. Yeah. I just wish Chris Thompson
right,
the last solo album.
Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Okay. Chapter 3. Do you have the last album he did? 06?
I think I do on CD. I think
it's a jazzy covers album, and there's a bunch of interviews of him.
So this has got here's the players on this: Mike Hug.
Oh yeah, he was from
Man for Man, Bernie Living, Steve York, and Craig Colling.
Right.
Yeah, those are the guys on this.
Okay, so Manfred Mann and Mike Hug are the only ones from the original Manfred Mann.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. So he would have done this. It would have been late '60s.
Yeah, after the pop group broke up.
Yeah. But very interesting music and well worth listening to if you ever get a chance. It's
well, he was always jazzy. I mean,
the
reason those early Manfred Mann albums had like these instrumentals on it was Manfred Mann, and they were always jazzy sorts of versions of pop songs.
Oh yeah, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was the theme to.
I'm thinking of the covers like Wild Thing, and they would be jazzy covers of these songs.
Yeah. Well, look what he did a couple of Springsteen songs and just wonderful.
Oh yeah, no, Springsteen saved their career in the 70s. He kept covering Springsteen.
So this is the last. This would have been
Dylan. They covered Dylan.
This is the last one I have on vinyl. I might have some others, but that's from '87. Called Mask. Very good. These to listen. I haven't played them in a while. I love them. That's the Earth band.
James wants to know if you have the Spirit albums.
No.
Yeah, that was his instrumental album. Yeah, Mask.
It's like having a library behind you.
Yeah,
it is.
Isn't that cool? Just to get up and say, "Yeah, I can do that. I can find that." In my library.
The early Earth band stuff I really like. It's of course, like most of the rest of the world, I got into them with the Roaring Silence and Blinded by the Light, but and then I started going into his back catalog, and I really like this stuff. Yeah.
But do you know who sang that? Do you know who their lead singer was for a while? Because he
Well,
had a
he-
solo hit on his own.
Well, Chris Thompson was their singer on that one.
Yeah, Chris Thompson, who did the theme from The Champ, which won an Oscar, I think, for best
Yeah,
song.
I really like his voice. He's one of my favorite singers, Chris Thompson. And then the drummer, Chris Slade, he ended up drumming with AC/DC for a while.
And also the Firm.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm still big, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Because you have a question up there.
Oh, do you have all the Spirit? No, I don't. I don't have any Spirit albums.
Okay.
Oh,
I have
okay.
no Spirit.
Okay. He's got no spirit.
Okay.
This is an empty shell.
This is a British man for man of the pop group.
Yeah, that's the early
Both
group.
versions of the pop group. And some solo stuff. And I also have another British singles collection of the Man for Man Earth band, and they always leave a song off. The best of is a song called Runner. That was a hit about a Canadian runner. And I used it on before.
Well, it's probably on a different label by then, because I think that's the last single that charted anywhere in the world probably was Runner. I don't think it charted in America, but
yeah, they actually had 2 volumes. This is on album and CD, and it was sold on TV. There actually were 2 volumes of this.
I've got a bunch of Man for Man from all periods.
On one of his albums with the Earth Band, it's actually a live cut, but they redid Quinn the Eskimo and with the Earth Band, and it rocks. Like he really updated it and modernized it, and it's really good.
Yeah. Somebody.
The Professor of Rock said Sweeter did.
No, Andy.
Rock is wrong.
Andy Scott is alive. Okay. Look at the official suite.
Rock is wrong.
Long gray hair. That's Andy Scott, the drummer. The bass, the guitarist. Yeah.
You mean like Reddy, Steve, and Andy, and
Andy. Everybody else is dead except for Andy Scott.
Andy.
And then in 1979, Brian Connolly left the group for a solo career, and that basically, that was the end of it.
Well, that was fine because he was trying to turn him into a metal band anyway, and Sweet had no business being a metal band. So it was for the best.
And I've seen interviews with Brian Connolly right before he died. He looks horrible.
Oh. I bought a Sweet album once that was like metal. I'm like, this is awful. I don't need
there you go. You can't believe the Professor of Rock.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So the one big member of the Suite, or Suite, as they call him, they're still living.
It wasn't sweet, it was sour.
Yes, that was true.
That's why the Professor of Rock is. Look at the face on him. Can you believe a guy with a face like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeez.
Professor of Rock is incorrect. All members of Suite are dead.
Well, technically, his researchers are incorrect. He just
as
far as I'm
he doesn't do any of the research himself.
I just think they put him up there, and he's like Shadow. To me, that show is like there used to be Casey Kasem's top 40, and then Shadow Stevens took over, and then it was just the guy reading the script after that. And to me, that's what Professor of Rock is. After Casey Kasem left America's Top 40, it wasn't the same because he didn't know.
I found all 4. He never really did. He's lying to me.
But there was it looks like the zombies, but there were 5 zombies.
Yes, there were 5 zombies, but one's dead. So
I thought all 5 of them were alive. Oh, there's one of them. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
that's the Earth Band's first album.
Yeah.
And that would have been 72.
72. Yeah.
Okay, and then we got Glorified, Magnified. That was their second.
Okay. That's the next one.
Yeah, this is a reissue. You can tell by the little thing.
Yeah.
And this is called Mess, and I really like this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he did.
Oh, this one.
Oh, this is kind of a comp.
Mm-hmm.
up to that point.
Did anybody say to Manfred, hey, what is up, man?
The gooder. This one's kind of neat. I put this on tape. I had it in the car, and I was driving home from our cottage, and I had my dog in the car with me. And the album starts off with a rooster crowing. And my dog, the dog absolutely lost it. It nearly caused me to drive off the road. he was running.
All three of them.
Well, he's a big German Shepherd. He was running all over the car trying to find out where this rooster was. Holy jeez. And then Solar Fire, another good one.
Fire, yeah.
And then Nightingales and Bombers. So he did I think Spirit in the Night was done on this. This is before Chris Thompson joined them.
Okay.
So Mick, what was the guy's name? Mick somebody was doing the singing at that point.
Mick Rock, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's and then of course this is when Chris Thompson joined them.
Yeah.
And then they re-released this album with a different track list, and they had another bonus track on it. So that. And then they came out with Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a version of Spirit in the Night with Chris Thompson on vocal that they put on the reissue of? That's what I'm thinking, but I could be wrong.
Well, he's on this. Chris Thompson's on this.
Yeah, but I think they redid Spirit in the. They didn't probably redo the song. They probably just redid the vocal.
This is this one.
Yeah. They redid the vocal with him on vocal.
You guys see the title there?
Yeah, they added it. Yeah.
And this is the one with the live version of Quinn the Eskimo on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then they did Angel Station, which is kind of a very confusing
That's
cover.
my favorite. There's a song called Don't Kill It, Carol on there that I really love.
Yeah.
First the song that got some FM airplay, Bob Dylan's You Angel You is on that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and he did a really good job of that too. You Angel You,
Yep. That got some FM
I was
airplay.
cover, right? This cover always freaked me out because you could do this.
Yeah.
Cover.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
And then we did Chance.
That was their last hurrah in America anyway. That did okay in America.
Yeah, you didn't hear much of them after that. And then we did Eyes of Nostradamus.
Somewhere in Africa.
And then for some reason I got this full-length remix EP in there as well.
I think that was the one where the song Runner came from. I believe.
Let me check. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
It's hard to
That's
read.
probably the last one released in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, Runner's on this one, Jeff.
Yeah.
Second track on there. Yeah.
I mean,
really
TV played the video for that a couple times.
And then they did. Then I got the live album Budapest.
Yeah, Budapest.
Single live.
Mm-hmm.
They did Spirits of the Night, Demolition Man. That was a good one. For You, Days on the Road Again, Lies Through the 80s. That was from Watch, Blinded by the Light, Redemption Song, and Mighty Quinn again. So they did that, and then I showed you this one already.
Yeah.
So you got quite a collection of albums.
You do know that they released a box set.
Yeah.
Band.
I actually at one point thought of getting it, and it was just a lot
kind of
of
expensive. Yeah.
Well, at the time, it was a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of cash. So,
Yeah.
You know what CD I always wanted by them, but it's eluded me all these years, is they put out a Manfred Mann live at the BBC, the 60s stuff. And it's just always eluded me, but it exists out there.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the pop group had loads of English hits in the 60s. The only American had was that Quinn the Eskimo, you know.
Well, no, Do What Diddy was the #1 hit.
Yeah.
54321 was a hit, and they had a couple
one
more.
called Pretty Flamingo, and
My Little. I don't think My Little Red Book was a hit in America. It
I
should
don't
have
think
been.
so. No. Oh, I love My Name Is Jack, but it wasn't a hit. So
Yeah, but songs like Somebody Suburban Mr. James was a huge hit in the UK, but nothing in America. Nobody knew what a semi-detached was in America, so they didn't.
Ooh, this Man for Men is British Rhino. Rhino UK. It's not Rhino America.
Wow.
I think CDs available in America.
Was it before Warner bought them out? Maybe.
I don't know. It says Warner Rhino.
No, Rhino exists in the UK. It's just very different.
It says 2015. So there's some Paul Jones solo stuff, some Mike Dabo solo stuff, and there was another group called McGinnis Flint that was together for a little bit after the Man.
Holy cow! Russ Ballard is 79 years old.
Yeah, people getting old. I know that Manfred's 85, like I said.
Isn't this Scandal?
Huh?
Oh, that's Spirit.
I got a line on you.
Spirit saying I got a line on you. Scandal had a song called I Got a Line on You too, but a different song.
Oh, is that the Patti Smythe Scandal? I got a CD.
Yeah.
Greatest hits.
Yeah, that was on their EP, their 5-song EP that came out. But it's not the Spirit song.
She was pretty connected. Like I watched a video on her quite a while ago on YouTube, and yeah, it's fascinating her background. Yeah, what an amazing voice, man! She could sing.
Well, I've told you guys this before, but when they fired David Lee Roth from Van Halen, she was Eddie Van Halen's choice.
Yeah, she talks about that.
Scandal, and she turned them down.
Yeah, she talks about that in this interview I saw of her. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, that would have been different, huh? To have her fronting Van Halen.
Sammy Hagar would have been pissed.
But she could do it. Like, she had a really powerful voice.
She had a great voice.
So Chris Thompson is 77.
Mm-hmm. We're all getting old.
Yeah.
The professor of rock will have to be looking into people who are old.
He's got quite a few solo albums too.
Yeah, Chris Thompson has a brother that also had a career called Ali Thompson, and he gets over here as well. But if you want to, I found several Man for Man interviews that are fairly recent. So,
I know I've got more CDs of his. I can't find them at the moment, but I know I've got Criminal Tango, which came out in '86. I know I've got that.
Yeah.
Soft Vengeance, I don't think I have. Man Alive, 2006, I don't think I have either. Oh, I might have that. Oh, you know what? I might have downloaded that. I might have that on the download.
But he's still smart as a tack. He's talking about doing, the guy's 85 years old. He still wants to do some more concerts.
Well, good.
Does he still have the mustacheless beard?
Yeah.
Keeps him going.
And he wears a hat now, like me, because he's bald. So.
Well, that's what
it's time to go.
We're having so much fun.
I know, but it's time to go.
Sunday.
Yeah, come back on Sunday. There's more of this kind of
more soup, more weird 80s groups and 70s groups. And
folks, believe it or not, this was totally unscripted.
Yeah.
Totally. Come back for more of this on Sunday. Won't you please?